Welcome to my next Greenfoot lesson at MrStewart'sLessons.com. We're going to start making a new game today, but today we're going to start from scratch. We're going to make a game called Fruit Wars in which a pumpkin pie flies around space and shoots at fruit. It will start simple, but it will get fancier down the road. First, I'm going to create a new scenario. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Scenario, I'm going to click New, and then I'm going to give it the name Fruit Wars. And then I'm going to click Create. So everything's going to disappear for a second, and then we're going to see in a minute the Fruit Wars is going to come up. What I'm going to see now is a window that has the world and actor classes but doesn't have any world and actors in it. That's what happens when you create a brand new scenario. So I want you to try the same thing. Start a new, click Scenario, click New, and type Fruit Wars in the name. Okay, so this is what you should see right now. If you paused it and did what I said, you should see a world class and an actor class. The first thing I want to do now is create a world. So I'm going to click with my right mouse button here, and I'm going to click on the thing that says New Subclass. That's going to create a new world subclass. This is the world where our thing is going to take place. I'm going to call my world world class space with a capital S, because we always capitalize our classes, and I'm going to pick a background. I'm going to pick the space, one of the space. There's a couple space backgrounds, so I'll pick this one here. You can pick whichever one you want. So I want you to do the same thing. I want you to right click on the world class and create a new subclass and call it space. Pause it and do that now. Now I'm going to create an actor, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a superclass to hold all my actors. You saw this before when I created the vehicle class in Gold Buggies. We're going to do something similar. This allows us to create methods that we can use for more than one different actor. So I'm going to click with my right mouse button. I'm going to click New Subclass. I'm going to call it Space Actors. Well, just like this, space and actors capitalized, the words should be together. I'm not going to put an image. You don't always have to put an image if you're not going to put this particular class on the board. So I want you to do the same thing. Right click, create a new subclass, and call it Space Actor. Okay, so now this is what you should see. Now I'm going to right click again, and I'm creating a new subclass of the Space Actors. And I'm going to call this Pie Ship. Both pie and ship are capitalized, should be all one word. I'm going to click on the food image, and I'm going to find what they call flan, but it looks like pumpkin pie to me, so I'm going to call it pie. I want you to right click on the Space Actors class, and want you to create a subclass called Pie Ship, and I want you to give it that image. Okay, so this is what you should see right now. We can compile it, and we can put the pie ship in space, but of course it doesn't do anything yet because we haven't written any code yet. So let's start to make it so it can do something. The first thing I want to do is make it point in whichever direction of the arrow key I press. So I'm going to open up the code window, and I'm going to make it turn in the direction of the arrow key I press. Now, what I'm going to do, instead of putting it inside the act method, I'm going to make a separate method to do that. And then I'm going to call that from my act method. This is the way we really want to do object-oriented programming, which is what we're doing. So I'm going to create a method, and I'm going to call it turn on command. And I'm going to type public void turn on command. Then I do open and close parentheses. Then I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to do a open curly bracket, hit enter 2 times, and then I'm going to do a close curly bracket. This is a good way to do things when you have to put things in curly brackets because it helps keep you from forgetting the curly bracket at the end. So I want you to create public void turn on command with the parentheses and the open and close curly brackets. Pause it and do that now. So I want the pie ship to turn in the direction of whatever arrow I press. So for example, if I press the down arrow, I want to have it point down. So I'm going to do something we've already done before, which is to use an if statement, and I'm going to use the isKeyPressed method, which you guys already know. So I'm going to type an if statement. I'm going to do open parentheses, then I'll do Greenfoot, and then I'm going to do a period, and I'm going to hit Control Space, and I'm going to use the isKeyDown method, which you know, and we want it to be the down key in this case, so I'll put down in quotes and close it. Then I need to do another close parentheses because that closes the parentheses for the if statement. I'll hit enter, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with the curly brackets before. I'll hit an open curly bracket, hit enter 2 times, and then do a closed curly bracket. So I have the block already created. I just have to put my stuff inside of it. So I want you to do the same thing. Type if greenfoot.isKeyDown, and with down as the argument, parentheses, and the curly brackets. Pause it and do that now. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to make it point in that direction. So I'm going to use a new method called set rotation. We don't have a turn command created like we did in the other one. We have to start from scratch. So I'm going to use a new command. I'm going to hit Control Space, and then I'm going to find set rotation. Set rotation, the argument here is how many degrees you want. The way the degrees work is 0 is to the right, 90 is down, 180 is to the left, and 270 is pointing straight up. That would be around a 360-degree circle. So we want it pointing down. That's 90 degrees. Then I'm going to do a semicolon. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to call the command up in my act method. So I'm going to select the action code. I'm going to delete that here, and I'm going to put in the turn on command. And in fact, I'm going to hit Control Space, and if I scroll down, you'll see that turn on command is actually one of my options. So I'm going to double click that, and I'm just going to put it in just like that. When you put a method in, then it becomes one of the options that you can call, just like all the other ones. So now I'm going to close it. I'm going to compile this, and I'm going to put my pie ship in again. I'm going to try it. I'm going to press the down. I'm going to press run. Then I'll press the down key, and sure enough, my pie is now pointing down, which is exactly what we wanted. So this is actually creating our own methods, which we can put in. Now I've got a little bit of a challenge for you here. You notice we can make it turn down. We can't make it turn any of the other directions. What I want you to do, I want you to put in 3 more if statements, knowing what you already know, that will make the ship point in the direction you want by pressing the arrow keys. Remember, pointing to the right is 0, pointing down is 90, pointing left is 180 degrees, and pointing up is 270. So Using that knowledge and what you know about putting in the is key down feature, I want you to create 3 more if commands on your own. Now when you come back, I will have done it and you can see how it should look, but I'd like you to try it on your own and see if you can make it work on your own before you look and see how I did it. So I want you to pause it and try and get it working so it can turn whatever direction you point the arrow. So, how'd you do? If you did it correctly and you compile it, what should happen if you run it now? If I press the up arrow, it should go up. If I go left, it should go left. If I press right, it should go right, and down, it should go down. That's how it should work if you succeeded in making it work. So let's take a look and see how that should look. So this is what your turn on command feature should, your whole turn on command method should look like right now. Now we could put in a move method easily enough for this ship. Say we move when we get the space command, right? But the way that things move right now isn't exactly how we want things to move. We don't just want the ship to scoot forward in one direction. We don't even want it to keep moving. We want it to kind of drift the way ships drift in space. And in my next lesson, I'm going to show you how we can do that. So come back at the next lesson and I'll show you how to make the ship move like it's in space. See you at the next lesson.